Hello, everyone, and welcome. It's Whitney Wiley, and thank you for joining me for 30 Days of Habits. And we are talking about the habits that are in the One Habit for Success, the SmartFem Summit Special Edition. And today I have with me Dolores Andrew-Gavin. Hi, Dolores. How are you?
Hello there. Thank you very much for having me on and for interviewing us all. Fair play to you.
Absolutely. It's been a lot of fun, and you guys are dropping such good nuggets about the habits that are in the book. And I'm learning a lot and reinforcing lessons that, you think you know things, and then you talk to
Mm.
people and you hear a different perspective, and it's like, oh, yeah, I could look at it a different way and apply it differently. And this is, I have to say, one of my absolute favorite things to talk about. And your habit is about saying yes only when it serves you and being more willing to say no, right? There's an unhabit that goes along with that. So your habit and your unhabit are two sides of the same coin. So tell us a little bit about what you mean about saying yes only when it serves you.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, it's really something that we're not told early enough in life. I think that, we all know that our stories form around our perception of how we pick up our atmosphere when we're very young. And if we don't know that, we certainly begin to know it when we're a bit older and we start doing some work to kind of unravel the stories that have brought us to where we are, but where we mightn't want to be in a certain place. So, we can become people pleasers accidentally.
Yes.
And, that can start from, like I say, such a young age. It can happen for boys and girls, of course. A girl might, and I'm writing a novel at the moment, and one of the daughters in the novel is a people pleaser because she's doing her best to try and get her father's attention. And this is quite a common theme, not for all girls. It's not my story about looking for my attention from my dad, but it's a story that a lot of women hold.
Right.
Um, and mine could have been more around my mom, let's say, but like we all have a story around how we perceived, and this is how we perceived our environment in relation to this, saying yes when yes is what we want. It's also a lot to do with our values, and by God, all through our life, if we're
Yes.
not following our own set of values, we're totally off the planet.
Absolutely. I think one of the challenging things is people not only aren't in touch, they don't even haven't taken the time to formulate their own values, right? They bring them from their families and don't stop to question and then say, okay, I'm affirmatively adopting this value, or this one doesn't work for me. And so you do get into a place where you're saying yes to things that really don't serve you.
For sure. And, they can be societal as well, values, especially for, different ones, again, for the feminine and the masculine, and they're ones that we take on unconsciously there again, because if they're societal, it's what we're born into. And of course this can be even to the country we're born in and the different values that are in the psyche of the people in the country we grow up in, and what's in the psyche of society. It goes into our own brain. We can't help it. It's where we are. It's what we're brought up with, and they're
Right.
the values that we can be working from.
So, what are the things that you suggest that people can do so that they can actually say yes only when it serves them? What are some steps or hints or hacks that you can offer?
I suppose one of the biggest things is if you're finding that you are off kilter in a certain area of your life, and it really comes in a lot when it comes to relationships, and this could be relationships with anyone, our children, our spouses, or whoever, our work situation, and a boss. If you're feeling, usually we feel it in our third chakra. I do a lot of work with chakras as well.
Okay.
That's our power center, and it's all got to do with power again, like, and the word empowerment, in the middle of that is power. And if we're not standing in our own power, if we're not assertive,
Mm,
we're being powered over. And we're allowing this at times, and I've done it myself, and I'm sure I will again in the future until I pull myself back. It's an unconscious way we can fall into
right.
something. And if we're not standing in our personal power, we're not able to say yes. We can be the people pleaser. We can be the doormat. and become a victim, you know, and everybody walks all over me. But it's up really to ourselves. If we lay ourselves down to be the doormat, people will walk over us. And I think it's those life circumstances that keep happening to us that sooner or later something's going to give, and a will going to just decide, you know, I can't take this anymore. And it's when we do the inner work, it's an inside job. And I know Brad Stallone mentioned that the last day on the
Yeah.
interview with him. And it comes from the inside. You know, externally, we're not going to find the answer to getting our power back, because that doesn't happen. It's something that we take ownership of ourselves as individuals, and as unique individuals. We take ownership ourselves. For myself, my journey has been to find my voice through my life. And by God, I got plenty of knocks from the universe when I wasn't doing it, until I eventually went on that final journey of, and as I say, life is a journey anyway, not a destination. None of it is, and you know, it's a work in progress all the time.
Right.
But it's taking those steps, and it's when you decide you've had enough, and you want to change the trajectory of where you're going, and you know, you follow your inner compass, because it'll never let you down.
That's good. That's good. And so, you know, do you have a particular example or a time where it just sort of clicked, that you'd be willing to share, where you're just like, you know, this saying yes thing just isn't working for me, or saying yes in certain circumstances?
Yeah, and I have to say, I have that. Sometimes I say, do I have yes written on my forehead? You know, I have a habit of, I can be on that spectrum, for want of a better word, of sort of, but it's part of my makeup. You know, I'm a therapist as well. So it just, you can tend to be more kind of, I suppose, you know, oh, I'll do that for you. But you know what? Sometimes people don't ask for my help, or any of our helps, you know, and um, so I suppose, if you get sort of, like, I was a bit overboard doing that for, you know, I'd always be the one jumping in, oh, I'll help you, you know, I can do this, I can do that. And it sounded a little bit kind of as though I was a bit of a, you know, whatever you want to call me, a people pleaser. But, you know, when you get knocked back by people, maybe by people, you have a good intention in your heart, and people are like, oh, you know, you have to stand back and say, and look at that story and realize that person did not ask for help. That person didn't, and it actually did happen to me at a workshop, and I offered help to someone they hadn't asked me for. I was shocked with their what they said to me, but you know what? It was a lesson. Don't overdo giving. Stand in your personal power. You can always just say to somebody, you know, I'm here if you want me. But you don't, it's not like you're forcing yourself on someone, but like, it's jumping in, wanting to save people isn't the answer in
Right.
life all the time. I
It's
kind of went a bit off point there, but
no. Honestly, that's really interesting. I hadn't thought about it that way. That there are times when we will offer up help, someone hasn't asked for it, and then we can start to feel put upon that we're always doing something for other people. And it's like, well, nobody asked you to do that. And we're sort of, you know, self-martyring in that process. So that is an interesting concept to think about. So, you know, ultimately you say yes when it serves you, and then you say in your unhabit, say no when it serves you better.
absolutely. And you know, in the first one, I suppose I talked about, I could see somebody that needed help, and I could say to myself, no, you know, they have their boundaries. I stay in my boundaries. I can offer help, and I can say, you know, no to myself, maybe, that I'm not going to interfere. But also, like, in a broader sense, saying no. I mentioned this in the book about, like, you know, if sometimes we are, and actually it nearly happens to us all. If we the four siblings in a family, we each seem to have our own little kind of you know, where we are in the pecking order.
Right.
And when we change, you know, we might be the one that everybody rings, because they'll know, you know, Dolores will do it. Now, this hasn't been my story, but, you know, it could be like, ring her, because, you know, people know that you're going to do something. But you might do it and feel constantly like they're again a doormat. Everybody asks me to do everything. Nobody ever does anything in the house, and you're there. If you do change and decide to start saying no, because you feeling that other people are sucking your energy dry from you, you might become, you know, do an assertiveness course or whatever, and become assertive and start saying no. because it's self-love for you. It's good to know that, and I suppose it's good to be mindful that it is going to have a ripple effect on everybody. Because, you know, when you're used to being one way,
Yeah.
but you cannot let that hold you back if you want real change to happen. Saying no for you, if you're going to be drained, if you're going to be, oh my goodness, the one that everyone calls, dumps their story on, and you're totally at the end of the day going, oh my God, I've nothing done for myself, I'm just helping everybody else again. You know, they're saying no in an assertive way is saying no with, you know what, I can't help you right now, I really would love to, but I'm so busy I can't.
Right.
Can I get back to you another time? So you can do no in a nice way as well.
Exactly. Exactly. I think the two things that you said that have really stood out is knowing your boundaries, setting your boundaries, and those come as a result of knowing and understanding your values, right? So you know what you value, then you can put boundaries around so that you can say yes and no at the appropriate time. So, do you have any final words of wisdom that you'd like to leave with us about saying either yes or no?
You know what? I think looking at your values will really help you with this. You know, look and see, are you acting out of other people's values unconsciously?
Mm,
Because that's the first step, I think. What you value, if you value something really much, very much like yourself, um, and your own, you know, on that journey of really wanting to take care of yourself. If you're not valuing yourself, you're likely saying yes all the time, and you're never saying no. So look at your values and make sure that they're your core values. And you can do that actually by doing an exercise like finding your why or something.
awesome. Awesome. Well, Dolores, thank you very much again for stopping
Oh,
by and
pleasure.
talking with us and helping us understand why it's important and how to say yes and no at the appropriate time.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And everyone, if you haven't already purchased your copy of the One Habit for Success, the SmartFem Summit Special Edition, please do so. The link is in the post, and we look forward to talking to you next time. Take care. Bye.